Well, Lee, the big day almost upon us. History beckons if you can beat Manchester City. How are the players coping with this? Because they've been on the big stage now against Manchester United. They've been to the Etihad, haven't they?
Yeah, they're excited. I can always tell. You're right, it's another big game. I think that's the thing, another big game, because we've had so many big games this year. And it's great, the fans are getting good value, the players are exposing themselves to worldwide media and putting in good performances on Sky cameras or whatever TV all over the globe has them performing. So I think they're ready. Certainly we're tactically prepared. Physically it was good to have the game on the Friday. Little things like that matter, particularly at the sort of level and intensity that we're playing at and the oppositions are playing at the moment. And it's going to be a great game, a great night. Thoroughly looking forward to it, and I'm sure the fans are too.
How are Frankie and Nathan Baker? Because obviously they came off at half-time on Friday.
I think that Bakes is probably like 50-50. We'll have to see. We've given him a little bit of time. Going to fitness test him tomorrow. He has improved. Frankie, again, he has to be scanned, but probably more likely Bakes would make the game than Frankie would. Obviously, we've got Luke Steele that came on, done very well the other night. Has played in previous rounds, and more than a capable deputy.
What do you anticipate from Pep Guardiola? Because obviously he made changes for the first leg. Do you anticipate him doing the same in the second leg, or maybe that first leg might have just shaken him a little bit?
Difficult to say, really. I don't know. I suppose if you're him, maybe you probably use 5 or 6 of the ones that played in the first leg, and then you make a decision maybe to have 2 or 3 coming off the bench if you need them, or resting them if they score a couple or a goal early or 2 goals early, then you can leave them on the bench. But who knows? I think in fairness, the players, the Manchester City players and the staff would have appreciated that we gave them a very good game at the Etihad, and we're still in the tie. So it'd be interesting to see, but more than likely it'll be a strong side, whatever happens.
You've built up a good relationship with Man City over a long time, and there was a couple of Sunday papers saying that this new relationship, potentially a loan agreement. Is that news to you, or is it on the cards already?
Well, I mean, I think with any loan of any particular player, it has to be right for all parties. So it's not just in loaning young players. The relationship is obviously, like you say, the trust is earned over a number of months and years, as it turned out with me. But it's about philosophy. It's about the people. It's about for example, training ground. So there's bits that we're able to take and being shown around Manchester City training ground to be able to bring into the likes of the new training ground that hopefully will potentially get planning, and that will come through. So you've also got recruitment that we can share ideas with, and a player might not be quite good enough for Manchester City as they see it, but potentially could be good enough for Bristol City. And I don't know, there's a number of ways that you can have links. Coaches, going to the football club like I did, and was exposed to their philosophy and the way they like to work as a group, not just as a football club. So I think keen to dampen down a huge link, if you like, between players coming from Manchester City, because it has to be right, and there's so many different things involved in any transfer. And different agendas, agents, players, starting, not starting. Do you know what I mean? We've got our own players, so it's important that we maintain our identity. But if we feel one's right, like a Tammy Abraham type or a Ryan Kent type, and it works for both parties, then of course I would hope that we would have a good chance of getting that through.
How do you look back on the first leg at the Etihad?
A bit frustrated actually, because I thought we deserved to come out of it with at least a draw. Obviously we're 2-1 down. I thought the players were excellent in the application and the way they tactically applied themselves. I think we had more chances than anybody's had at the Etihad this year, which is a sign that it's going to be a difficult game for them. And like you say, it's a huge game for the football club, and this is where heroes are made. We've already seen Corey Smith and Joe Bryan sort of etched in the history by beating Manchester United, and do you know what I mean? We haven't come this far to only come this far.
There was a lot of plaudits on the back of that game for the way that Bristol City played and attacked Manchester City at the Etihad, which not a lot of Premier League clubs have done. Do you feel that Manchester City will be prepared for that more coming to Ashton Gate? Or is that a natural thing when you're the home club?
I think first and foremost it's very difficult to do that against them. I'm sure that many Premier League clubs have gone there with intention to attack Manchester City and haven't been able to due to the quality that they've got and the way that they build through the phases. So I was delighted with how many opportunities we had on the night and obviously scored the goal. But we're at home and we have to take the game to any opposition. Doesn't matter whether it's Manchester City, Manchester United or Bromsgrove. You know, we have to make sure that we apply ourselves in the right way in which the fans would expect, and they expect now from this team the identity of attacking football, getting balls in the box, but also playing some attractive football on the way through. And it's always getting that balance is a difficult thing, because against Norwich I thought we played some fantastic football, for example, but didn't get enough penalty box entries. And it's a constant sort of to and fro in for that aesthetics, if you like, and the directness that would create opportunities. And we have to score. We have to score at least one, if not two. So our playing style will have to reflect that.
You say have to score maybe even two. Do you anticipate this one going quite long? Of course, extra time could come into play, couldn't it?
Well, I don't know. I mean, I sit there daydreaming like we all do, and, you know, and you go through every possible scenario. But you have to respect these are top side, you know, with great players. So you've seen it. I think Burnley, for example, 1-0 up at half time and then 4-1 down. So you have to stay concentrated for 90 plus minutes. That could lead up to 120 minutes, and if it does, it means that we would have been very successful in our game plan.
Thinking back to Manchester United, that atmosphere that you experience here at Ashton Gate, where does it rank in all your time working for Bristol City? And you kind of need that and more against Man City, don't you?
Yeah, it's good. I mean, it's funny because I was watching the little sort of promo video that the media department put together earlier, and you couldn't help but just have a little tear in your eye thinking about it. And it was good. It was an amazing day, certainly the best I've experienced as a player or manager here. And I'm excited, you know, we want that as much as we can. And the great thing is we got however many games left of the season, and there's something to play for, and I think that's great in both the League and the League Cup. So we're excited, and we'll do everything we can to make a good show ourselves and make people proud.
How much are you looking forward to walking out that tunnel, seeing all the flags around the stadium, standing opposite Pep Guardiola in that dugout once more?
It's difficult because you want to enjoy it, but almost the focus doesn't enable you to enjoy it.
You not switch off at all from that?
So every now and again you'll take in like sort of snapshots of like an iconic moment, if you like. It might be the flags, or might be a particular fan or a goal celebration. But it takes such a level of concentration to compete at the levels that we're competing at the moment, both from players and staff, that it's not, you end up enjoying the TV footage more than you do the actual day.
When you watch it back afterwards.
It's like your wedding, really, isn't it? You know, when you go have a wedding, it just flies by.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Transfer-wise, we're edging towards the end of the window now. You said at the weekend maybe one more. Is that it? Is that all the room you've got in your squad now, maybe?
Well, I think if we manage to retain everybody, I think that's the first port call. You know, I'm delighted with the squad. I'm frustrated with the injuries because we've got some very good players injured, and I think had everybody fit, then I'd be going into each game like very, very calm, believing that we have a good chance as far as odds are concerned to go and get wins. So obviously the injury is always key, and with Nathan Baker and Frankie Fielding going down, hopefully they won't be too long. But yeah, certainly I think there's space for one more that we're after, and we're working very hard behind the scenes. I believe the one we're looking at is a top player, and we'll add to our team and our squad, and we'll have to see whether we can get over the line. But there's a lot of interest, and it'll be an exciting one if we do.
And on the flip side, as you said there, I think you've been asked about this before, the fact that the players are on TV all the time at the moment, they keep getting linked with lots of big clubs. How fearful are you of these last sort of 7-8 days of the transfer window and losing one of them?
Do you know what? I'm not that fearful, actually, because I think like, unless it was a ridiculous offer for one of our players, I think clubs probably will respect that we are in a position where we're fighting, and at the moment we're fighting on two fronts still. I think it can get crazy, but teams will know, clubs will know that we're not a club that has to sell unless we've got a viable replacement. So with no real news sort of as far as serious bids at this stage, then I believe that we'll go into the February the 1st with a squad we've got, maybe one addition or two or three loaned out that are not going to get the game time they require here.
I hope you can enjoy tomorrow night.
We will.